knew all along as an Anglican that I would have to confront Newman. I would have to go read John Henry Newman because here was this prominent, if not the most foremost theologian in the Anglican Church, more evangelical tinge to him. And he leaves and he becomes a cardinal of the Catholic Church, and he writes his own apology as to why he left. So I was like, I'm going to have to pick that up. Right. So I did. And it was there where you're reading Newman and you're like, he lived my life already. Right. He's pointing out all the things about Anglicanism that I'm pointing out right now.
Right.
And like the inventory, right. He's saying that what is our tradition if we don't have saints, if we can't canonize anybody,
mm-hmm.
who are we? And so I liked, then you look at Catholicism, it's like, there's all the saints down through history. That's who we are. We are who we are in our best people. And all the way up and down history, they're there. And I can look at it and the measuring rod is there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know what holiness is and where I have to go to attain it.
Mm-hmm. And
I have to go to Catholicism to do it. And so you're seeing all these types of things in Newman. I'm literally reading this thing because I had begun writing. I sat down. I decided in late 2017, early 2018 to just sit down and just write. Where am I at in the faith? What questions do I have? I literally listed what doctrines I have concerns with in Catholicism, and I just started writing. And as I was writing, I was reading and researching and writing and reading and putting my thoughts on paper. 35, 40 pages later, I then start to read Newman. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And I never wrote anything again because I came to him and I stopped. And now it's like, okay, I'm in trouble because I don't think I could be Anglican because I'm literally following the same path that Newman was on.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of shook me, really.
Yeah, and there was a sense at the time too that you felt like I could make the greatest argument for Anglican. I still to this day can make the greatest argument for why Anglicanism is right and everyone else is wrong. Right? You can make that argument all day long, just like Saul was making the argument that Jesus is not the Christ, right? But at the end of the day, he gets knocked off his horse and he says, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And it's hard for you to kick against the goads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I felt. It's like Anglicanism. It's part of the Catholic Church. We have women's ordination, but it's not that big because we have the GAFCON movement. And I know that they have women's ordination in Kenya as part of that, but that's okay. We're going to work. We're going to sort that out. It's like you're constantly just like,
you constantly have to reinvent the wheel and
so it just starts to feel like, why is God blessing the Catholic Church? It is the whore of Babylon. It has, it's like it has all of these unholy people. It has corruption up and down the centuries. Why does God keep blessing this thing? And it keeps growing, And that's exactly like I'm telling you that, like that's it, because God's promise rests on this community and not that one. I mean, even the fact that the Pope, at a time when Anglicanism has no women's ordination, the Pope writes and says that Anglican orders are null and void at a time when you would think like, dude, Anglicanism has a good argument for why their orders are valid.
Well, in fact, Anglican, the Archbishop's answer back to the Pope is a fantastic document, well argued. You would even look at the two documents and say, well, it looks like the Anglicans won that debate. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But so basically it's like, you can say like, I don't know if the Pope's argument is that strong, but at the end of the day, what happens literally, generation or two later?
Within 40 years,
Anglican orders become null and void anyway, because they start retaining women, So it's like, it's because the promise rests here. Is just from my point of view, that's what I was seeing. I was like, just the promise just rests there. And you can't keep fighting against it. You just come to a point where you have to say, this is our mother. Like, this is the church, I also, with the tidal wave of culture, that is coming at us as just against Christendom in general, right? You start to feel like we're losing. Like all the Protestant denominations are dead. The only ones that are thriving are the ones that are constantly reinventing themselves and don't have any stability. So all the stable Protestant traditions are gone.
The mainline traditions. Yeah,
they're all
traditions.
dead. They all apostatized in one way or another, right? And so you're like, how are we going to win this battle? To me, it was like, if the battle is even going to be won, there really is only one place that could happen. And to me, it was the Catholic Church. And that's not the only reason to become Catholic. I'm just saying that that's just one of the other things that's in the area in your experience as a Christian, trying to discern the spirits. And you just see that, like, Catholicism has everything that it needs, not by accident, right? But it has everything that it possibly needs if it wants to use it to win this battle. Orthodoxy, I would argue, doesn't. But Catholicism only has what it takes to take on the culture.